the beginning of the new year is really what inspired me to make today's video. So I wanted to talk about goal setting. And I know that New Year's resolution is a huge thing, especially culturally in our area. Everybody's doing it, but the problem is, or the big joke about it is that these resolutions tend to fall down flat on their face and it kind of sucks. And then it makes us feel not so awesome about ourselves. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how to make goals and achieve them. And yeah, you want to get started? What you'll need is a planner, a calendar, preferably to go on your wall so that you can mark it with your accomplishments, a goal board, which we will talk about how to DIY, and any decorations like stickers or writing utensils that really speak to you and make you happy and make you want to write with it and make you want to look at it. So to start with planner, I would recommend an expandable planner. I know that a lot of schools give out planners and they're great. They're great for starting out, but once you start going to really play with different layouts, I'd really recommend an expandable planner. This one is just a generic Target planner, and I have a bunch of different page styles inside of it, plus like little notes and things like that, so that there are weekly setups, and oh, this is my secret goal sheet. Keep it locked away so I can see if I achieve those goals. And then like a monthly plan out, and kind of hiding here in the back because I don't use the dailies a whole lot. I also have a daily setup too. And dailies, they can also look like this. It really is dependent on what kind of things you want to write down, how much you want to be writing down, as well as what you're using each one for. I like using the monthly view just as like a wide format so I can mark down, be like, all right, I have to do block today, or if I'm not sure what I'm doing that day, but I have like a doctor's appointment or something. Oh, it's warm in here. Then I'll mark it down on that calendar real quick, so then when I get to my weekly view, I can just plug everything in. Weekly is my favorite. I've used it since I was in school. I used it in college, and it's absolutely awesome for assignments, and it's really my absolute favorite for keeping track of goals, so I can write down on which day I'm going to say I'm going to record a video and it's going to be posted by blank day, and I'll put them on each day so I can hold myself accountable, because that's a big part of what the planner is for, not only keep track of everything, but to hold yourself accountable. And the dailies are really good if you are really busy, if you have work and school, and if you have to plan out things by the hour, which is really nice if you are if you tend to get distracted or like zero in on just one certain things. On days that I have a ton going on, or if I have a really busy schedule, I'll block out and be like, all right, you can spend 30 minutes doing this, you know, spend an hour and a half on doing this. Really helpful if it's something I don't want to do, like folding laundry. I hate folding laundry. I put that in my planner because I'm like, you're going to do that today because, meh, I hate it. But before we can even set out what we're going to fold in our planner, we have to make our goals. So I am using the SMART acronym, which is one of the most popular, but it's not always the most understood for SMART goal settings. So first one is specific. So when you set your main goal, your big goal, what you want everything to fall into perspective under, it shouldn't be something too vague, but your big goal is going to kind of just underline everything that you want to do for whatever time period you're going to choose. So if you want to say, this is what I'm going to do this year, this is what I want to do this quarter, it's what I want to do this month, totally up to you, but we're going to start big picture goal, think of big picture. And say you want to say, I want to do better in school. Narrow it down. I want to get better grades. Okay, narrow it down. keep narrowing it down until you have one specific goal. So we can say, I want to get a certain score in the LSAT. Okay. And that's a specific goal, but we'll get back to why that might not work in just a second. So think specific. A specific goal would be, I want to read 100 books this year, or I want to compete in the next face-off competition. I'm really excited for that one, actually. So that one is going to be on one of my goal boards. So what is one huge thing, one big dream of yours? Write that down. That is your main goal. That is your big area of perspective. Second, we have M for measurable. Choose a way to track your progress. So if you said, I want to be a better person this year, awesome. That's a great goal. Narrow it down. All right, I want to feed the homeless, or provide school supplies for children in need. Choose a goal that can be measured. So if your goal is to feed the homeless, okay, narrow it down. Do you have an established community you want to work in? Things like that. So say, I want to donate 100 meals. That's something you can measure. You can measure out how many meals you can provide to someone. You can measure out how many blankets you can make for someone that's having a rough time this winter. You can measure out the amount of time that you spend studying in an evening, or working on a new drawing, or the number of different looks that you try to create for your portfolio. All of these things, make them have something that you can actually physically write down and count them out. How much do you want to do it? And make it so you can hold yourself accountable for them. Number 3, attainable goals. Don't set yourself up for failure. Choose things that are in your control. So if I say, all right, I want to grow my channel and I don't want to have only 6 people. Well, I can't add subscribers to my channel, but I can resolve to make the best content that I can create, which may not be, the content for everyone, but it's true to me. And I can say, all right, I'm going to upload at least twice a week. And those are all things in my control that means I can achieve it. I can't achieve certain goals, like I can't run a marathon. I can't do it. That's okay. But I can work towards walking a 5K. Make your goals something that are actually attainable to you. And keep in mind that it is what you want and what you know you can do. I'm not saying don't push yourself, because you're capable of so much in this world. But make sure that it's what you want and that you're not setting yourself up for hitting a barrier that you can't cross. Because I might not be able to do something, but you could do something. And your friend could do something that maybe you can't do. And maybe I can do something that Sally Jo Robertson can't do. I don't know Sally Jo Robertson, but that's the name that came to my head because I'm trying to say Karen less. That's not polite. Anyway, yeah. So make sure that it is an attainable goal that makes sense to you. Which brings me to number 4. Keep your goals relevant. How are your goals going to help you reach the person that you want to be? Not only that, but they should also be rewarding. There's nothing wrong with reward yourself as you're working towards your tough goals. Because your dreams themselves, they're not a punishment, but there's going to be hard work in it sometimes. So make sure that your goals reward you for that hard work. So if you are on your way for your first job or your new job, you're going to learn all you can about the position that you want. You're going to be studying hard and you're going to school. You're doing all these extra things. Get your internship, and then what? What else is there? What else is there talking to you and giving your heart back everything that it needs, that, you know, it makes it happy. For instance, if you want to do a makeup competition, you're saying, all right, if I practice these number of different looks, and you're going to practice on your friends and your family and whoever you can, and maybe you end up making a little bit of money on the side as a makeup artist. Maybe you volunteer some of your services and do makeup for someone's first prom, or maybe your reward instead is something physical, like you finish out a course and you get yourself a new palette because it's magical. You keep rewarding yourself as you go through these next steps, because then you'll feel like you earned these different things. So you start at this baseline, working your way up through the different goals that you have. And yeah, you're going to need some materials for each step. So let those materials be your reward every step that you make. And finally, time bound. You have to set limits for yourself, because it can be really tough to say, oh, I'll do this, and then not have a schedule to hold yourself accountable to. So by setting daily or weekly or monthly goals for you to check in and hold yourself accountable, it's pretty easy to flop. So set yourself limits, but be flexible. If you don't reach your goal, which is actually 100% okay, regroup. That's it. We revise your list and you try again. Because those achievements, they don't equal your worth as a person. So don't ever forget to celebrate you and celebrate each accomplishment that you made. And when you are calculating your goal at the end of that time period, write down what you did achieve and keep track of what did you do really well and where did you mess up, because everybody does it. Everyone does it over and over and over again. And it's awesome that you can try again, because that's all you can do is either lay there and be a fish. And nobody wants to be a dead fish. Not even fish want to be dead fish. That's a horrible analogy. Anyway, I forgot what I was going with there. Now I'm just stuck on dead fish. Yeah, celebrate you and celebrate the accomplishments that you make. And if you screw up and you set yourself back even farther, okay, it's time to start again. And that's the best thing about setting goals, is write the crap on a whiteboard. Wipe it off. Or put it on Post-it notes. Pop them down. Shuffle it. Or create something new. This is something that's going to happen, especially on a time schedule, which is why we're putting it on a time schedule. So you have to have the opportunity to fail. Because if you achieve it, congratulations. And if you didn't, shit. Try again. It's okay. Alright, so let's go over some examples. Say you want to read more. Well, let's narrow it down. Make it more specific. Say you want to read 30 minutes a night. Is this the right direction? I just realized I'm not entirely certain if it's going to be the right direction. Anyway, 30 minutes a night. What additional items do you need? A library card. If you're in school, you can use your school's library, etc. And set up yourself some rewards. So are you going to go thrifting and get a box of books? That's my favorite. I don't know about you, but that's my favorite way to get a ton of new books on the cheap. Or maybe you will take yourself on a Barnes & Noble shopping spree, or you'll go visit your local bookstore and get yourself something that you really wanted to try, but you haven't really gotten to. And set yourself a bigger reward for getting even more. And say, all right, how long do I want to do this reading? Is there a certain number of books you want to do? Or you just want to consistently read this throughout the time? So you'll set up yourself some goals as time goes on. So maybe every 2 weeks or every month that you achieve this, you gotta gauge that on yourself for how your rewards are gonna work. So if you are consistently missing 2 nights every single week, keep that in mind when you're writing your goal then. Just be like, all right, so maybe I'll skip those days, but I'll add 15 minutes to some of the extra days. You know what I mean? And keep track of all of them. And then once you get to the time period that your goal is, so you say, I want to read 30 minutes a night for a month. You reach that, and then you get your big reward. So go to a book event, go to a book signing, buy yourself a book, etc. That is your reward. And the best thing about doing goals on this long-term way is that a lot of these things will become a habit. So say you want to get an A in class. Well, this is where you will set aside your actual goals, because maybe you don't achieve the highest grade you want, but we can get you as close as possible. I think I'm going to do a video about studying a little while down the road. Right now, schedule in reviewing time to do practice tests, and tutoring sessions if you need them. Chart them out. This is why. Got the calendar. And keep track of your grades. So most schools have it so you can check your grades online. So how about once a week? Go on there, check your grades, put it on your calendar. Did you reach your goal? And if you're struggling with something, get some extra help. And that goes with every single goal. If you need help, all you have to do is ask. And the majority of people will be so happy to help you achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. You know, it's kind of like a goal for them too. My next example is if you are in sales and you have a lot of different aspects to go on, and I will put some calendars down below for you especially, but you want to keep track of your deadlines as well as what are you doing as far as contacting people, because sales is not all making money. There's so much of it is putting yourself out there, and whether you are a private seller, or if you are a consultant, or if you are doing a fundraiser, instead of having just your one big goal in mind, set it out on your calendar. Who do you want to talk to? Do you want to have like an actual big party event? Do you want to kind of explain to people what you're doing? So if you're trying to raise money to go on a trip or something like that, that way's a good way to do it. So sales doesn't have to be just business. It can be anything that you personally are raising money for. And you can also do events. And all of these things are going to take up space on your calendar. So mark them all of I will have blank number of events, or I will host blank number of parties, and your goal dollar amount, and go ahead and reach for it. Go ahead and stretch your goals out, but keep them attainable. Yeah. Alright, so my last example is going to be competitions. So have your big competition, write it down. For this example, I'm using the NYX Space Awards. That's the one I'm going to be applying for this year. I was going to try for it last year and I missed the deadline, which is why it's number 1. Because I didn't find out about it until it's like 2 days to the deadline. And I was like, oh, wow. All right. So, find your deadlines. Put them on your calendar first. First. Put them on every calendar if you have to. Gather the materials that you need. Not just ones you think you might need. Because sometimes when we get our dreamer brains, we start thinking about things that we might not actually need. And practice. That belongs on your goal sheet. That's why I included when we talked about notes for school, everything. Take the time to practice. You have to practice to get good at anything. So if you are studying for the SATs, practice. If you're studying for chemistry, practice. If you want to read more, practice. Anything you do will take practice. So I will be writing out my personal goals. I won't be using a whiteboard because this one is actually the one for the fridge. I have another one that I keep up in my sewing room that is just for sewing projects that I keep all the competitions for those in. But this will become my 2017 goal board, and I want to include everything from competitions to my business to my videos all on here, all divvied up, and I'll give you guys a few options. I'm actually going to link a couple different goal boards in the description box below. I did ask some of the other YouTubers if it's okay if I link their videos, and I hope they say yes. Because some of them are really good. Some of them are kind of but it's good for ideas. Alright, so my last tip for you guys is to keep your goals where you can see them. So hang the calendars or your board up on the wall and write yourself notes, write yourself reminders. You can put Post-its up, you can put some like light colored fabric, well, I guess you could use fabric, I was going to say paper, but you know, fabric, in a picture frame, and write yourself a note. And actually, I like writing myself notes on the mirror, and just kind of cheer yourself on, because no matter what, if someone is doubting you, or if you just don't have the support that you want or need, oh, I should stop messing with that. You can be your own cheerleader, and just keep reminding yourself that you can do it, and that everything you do, it's what matters is that you're trying to achieve these different things, and maybe you don't reach the goal you want, but you're going to reach a goal, and you're going to be farther than when you started, and that's what matters. Okay, so I love you guys so much. I hope you learned a lot, and